So I'd like to introduce you to the ab roller and give you a few tips on how to use it, as well as improve your performance and the results you'll get with it. Typically, people, when they do an ab roller, are going to arch their back as they roll out. That's going to put more pressure and strain on your back when you're really trying to feel it in your core and your abs. So one of the best ways to achieve that, first you're going to be on your knees. You probably want to use a padded surface or your knees are going to hurt. You're just going to place the ab roller on the floor in front of you, and with straight arms, the next thing you'll do is drop your hips. So you basically have a straight line from your knees through your shoulders, and then you proceed to roll out. Now, if the ab roller looks intimidating to you, you can start slowly. Again, just assume your position, drop your hips, and just roll it a little bit at a time. It really doesn't matter how far you go in the beginning stages. That way you can test your shoulder strength and stability. Maybe you push it a little bit farther each time. You can even use a tape measure to see how far you're going. Maybe just go a little farther, an inch at a time, and then push back. You really don't need to come all the way back to this position. Just come back to where your hips are dropped. Another way to increase the difficulty and bring up the challenging factor is to go a lot slower. Roll out slower, do a pause, and then roll back. So you see people using an ab roller going pretty fast. Okay, just try rolling out slower. Pause, and then push back. And the movement back shouldn't come from your rear. It should come from your arms, okay, keeping your core tight. This will also help improve your push-up as well as your plank. So typically when people do a push-up, you're going to see some arch in the back and maybe the hips drop first. When you do a push-up, even if you're doing a regression and you're on your knees, you can drop your hips. Again, your chest should touch first, but you're going to keep your back straight. You don't want to do this. Okay? If you're on your toes, again, you can tighten everything. And push. Now, if you're doing a plank, there's 5 checkpoints. The first will be, and this is again whether you're going to do it on your forearms, or whether your arms are straight, or even if you're doing it with your feet on an elevated surface and maybe your arms are on a BOSU ball, a stability ball. Your arms are going to be straight. You're on your toes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to contract my quadriceps. Next thing I do is contract my glutes. Then I do the drawing in maneuver, which is simply pulling the navel up to the ceiling. Then you pinch your scapulas together. Your neck is also in a neutral position. And that's your plank. And it's called a plank because when you hold the position properly, from being on your toes to contracting your quads, tightening your glutes, doing the drawing in maneuver, pinching your scapulas back, and keeping your head in a neutral position, you should feel as stiff as a board. Otomix! So we got a really big shoe for you tonight, a really big shoe.